In this episode of Lowdown, we have tons of cool content coming your way.
We have bands like Strange Familiar, Heath, and solo artists like Rebecca Jean.
Don't forget about our brand new segments, including music video breakdown and Riley and Sarah's soundcheck.
All this and so much more in our exciting first episode of Lowdown.
Welcome back to Lowdown. So as you can see, there is someone standing next to me. He's my new co-host, Adam.
Stellar.
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited to be a part of this show. I can't wait to see what this semester has in store for Lowdown.
Well, lucky for you, I'm gonna let you introduce our first band of the semester. I'm so used to doing this alone, but it's an honor to share the limelight with you.
Thank you, Shannon. Okay, so first up, we have a band you may have heard before. It's Strange Familiar, and they've had their music on shows like Vampire Diaries, Secret Life of the American Teenager, and they're always working on new music.
You're doing good, kid. I think we'll keep you around. Let's check out this band.
You are the heart that beats inside of me. You are the words I long to find.
I think the Strange Familiar has been together since 2007. The new album, The Day the Light Went Out, was inspired a lot by the struggles that, I think everybody goes through, but there's a lot about grief and loss on the album. And that's why I feel like the production on the record is really strong in giving the energy to the music so that it doesn't all feel dark and down and sad. But I think the title, The Day the Light Went Out, is about going through something really, really hard and struggle and coming out on the other side. Like there still is hope at the end of the day. And that's kind of what we always try to put into our music, is a message of hope.
You are the truth that keeps me wanting more. You changed my heart, you changed my mind.
Having a daughter now, it's changed everything. So now our time, we have to really manage it so much better than we used to. I'm like, we used to waste a lot of time. But just like, writing songs and everything, like everything we do, we have to do when she goes to bed at night. So like our late hours, we've kept the night owl hours. The first time that we ever had a song on TV was a really big change for us, because people found our music, and I don't think Strange Familiar was on the map until people heard our song, and we just had such an awesome experience. We had just moved to LA, and we'd been there for a month, and somebody found our music online, a producer, and they wanted to use our song Courage Is in all the promos for The Secret Life of the American Teenager, and that kept us in LA. And so I guess it changed everything, just getting those placements. And then more and more as we went, we were on Vampire Diaries and Pretty Little Liars, and just the people that find us like out of nowhere. I had no idea that it would be such a big deal where people would find our music and attach to it. You guys have anything you want to say?
Yeah, after those first few placements that we got, I remember Frank was there too. We were looking on iTunes charts, and our name was number 2, like right below John Mayer. We're like, I think there's something wrong with my computer. Like we're on like the top 10 of there. It was just crazy. It's just very powerful.
I hope that the future holds some more songs. Like, we just want to do more albums. I know we want to record more, write more. I'm just starting to now really dig into the writing process again. It's funny, when you release an album, you kind of feel like, there it is, I'm done. But then you're like, oh wait, I have to write more. So I'm definitely going to be doing that.
I thought I've heard of them on Vampire Diaries before. Definitely a cool band.
It is always awesome to see a band use unconventional instruments to make a great sound.
I had the chance to interview a girl that sounds almost like the Strange Familiar, but with a country flair. Her name's Rebecca Jean, and she just got off of touring for 2 years. I think you're gonna like this one, Adam.
All right, let's get to it then. Here's Rebecca Jean.
My name's Rebecca Jean, and I am from Geauga County, Ohio, and currently residing in Rubber City.
Skies of endless possibility.
And most people say that it has a country kind of flair, kind of folksy, and sometimes a little bit rock and roll. I guess I have a lot of different influences. I've been realizing some influences that, you maybe don't attribute your sound to as much when you're first starting out. I grew up with a lot of classic rock, actually. So I feel like even though my music sounds nothing like classic rock, that kind of comes into play somehow. But my dad always had WNCX on in the car.
We can make this life whatever we want.
That album was, it's my debut. It's the only full-length record I've made so far, and it was recorded in 2011. So that was, I've always played music, and that was really the culmination of me getting pulled to go ahead and try to do it more seriously. And so I quit my job in southern West Virginia, and a lot of people probably wouldn't consider it a real job, but it was the most real job, kind of day job thing to me. And I was just like, I can't play enough music doing this. Yeah, after my record came out in 2012, I toured for a few weeks, just me, doing that. And then I joined David Mayfield's band. And he already was much further into his career, and so we just toured with that band all the time. And then when we were home, we made records. And then we'd go back out and play a lot more shows, coast to coast. So it was really extensive and a lot of hard work and a lot of fun.
Friends change to lovers. They never change back into friends.
I had written this jazz song with my roommate, who's a phenomenal musician in the area, Anthony Papaleo. And I was like, well, why don't we just record this? Because it's like when you can't make up your mind about two serious things, and so then you just decide to do something for fun. Not that jazz isn't serious, but for me, it's very random. I've never done it before. This song just kind of happened. So that's recorded, and we just did that in North Canton with Spencer Martin a couple of weeks ago, and recorded a standard for the B-side, and gonna print some 45 RPMs for fun. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bam! Rebecca Jean, awesome stuff. She gave her album to us, and it is definitely worth listening to. So, Shannon, if you could change one thing about the world, what would it be?
If I could change anything, I'd have to say world peace.
Oh, very Miss America of you. Like a true lady. Just like our next artist, Jordan Genovese. The lady's got a powerful voice, I tell you what.
You're right, Adam. Let's watch this next segment.
Hey, it's Jordan Genovese. I got into songwriting kind of as a mistake, actually. I joined a class in high school just because it happened to work out, not really thinking anything would come of it. But I'm so happy I did, because it gave me a reason and a way to kind of just put it all out there. So yeah, that's how I got started writing music. Describing my sound might be the hardest thing an artist can do, or I could do, but if I really had to assess, I would say old school Avril Lavigne meets Kelly Clarkson with like a little sprinkle of Paramore with a hint of twang, if that makes any sense at all. I wish it would rain. I have a new album out, and it's called Power Games. It's a 5-song EP, and it's probably one of the more cohesive bits of music I've ever kind of put together. My first album, called Green November, came out I think a little over a year ago, and it was a little experimental in that I didn't really know what I wanted to do sound-wise, so I think that on Power Games, these songs really came together in a way that they're very unique, but they also complement one another too. As far as my next step goes, as soon as I graduate from school, I definitely want to get to touring around a little bit, getting my name out there in places other than Ohio. I don't venture out too much just because it doesn't just seem to work out, but I'm going to soon.
You're looking lovely, baby. Why don't you take the time to look around?
Wasn't I right? She is really great. If you like what you've heard, then you can check out her music on iTunes.
I might have to go do that right now during our first commercial break. See, hosting is pretty awesome, don't you think?
I would have to concur. I could get used to this whole Lowdown thing. Anyway, time for our first commercial break. A station has to take a break every now and then. See you after this.